Hello, and welcome once again to the exciting world of insurance. My name is Chauncey Porter, and the name of my company is Porter Insurance Professionals. We make Medicare simple people. And in today's video, what we're going to be discussing is the difference between a supplement plan and a Medicare Advantage plan. I get a lot of people ask me, well, Mr. Porter, which one is better? Supplement plan or an Advantage plan? Well, it comes down to one thing: personal preference. But there are significant differences between the two. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because everybody wants to lump them all in together. Everybody wants to call them all supplement plans, and that's not the case. So there are differences, and we're going to talk about those today. If you are a retiree, if you're still working and you're about to retire from your job, or if you've already retired from your job and you have retirement benefits, or you're getting ready to retire and you want to see some options that you have, I advise you, start with your job. Always start with your employer, because your employer may offer you some type of retirement insurance program like a supplement plan, or maybe even an advantage plan. Your employer may also offer you options that no one else can offer you, such as health reimbursement accounts. Those are called HRAs. Flexible spending accounts that can also help you with your medical care and dental and things of that nature. So if your employer is offering you that, you always want to start there, because if you opt to take your retirement insurance from your job and you look at something else and you take something else outside of the job, it could severely jeopardize you on losing your retirement insurance benefits. Most employers, once you go to something else, like if you have a retirement package from them, not your income, I'm talking specifically about your insurance package that you get from your job. If you sign up for something, let's say for instance, you see a commercial on television that's advertising some program and it sounds interesting, and you call and you get set up for it, it could kick you off of your work insurance, and you will lose your flexible spending, your HRAs if you have them. You won't lose your income. They can't touch your retirement income, but you will lose that insurance that they offer you, and you cannot get that back in most cases. So if you are getting ready to retire, or if you have retirement insurance from your job already, be extremely cautious about shopping insurances around, because if you sign up for something outside of your employer, you won't be able to get that back in most situations. So keep that in mind. Now, with that being said, let's talk about these supplement plans and these advantage plans. Which is better? How do they work? Let's get into it. So let's start with the supplement plan. What is a supplement plan? A supplement plan is basically, in a nutshell, you're ready to show you something here shortly. A supplement plan, basically in a nutshell, is a secondary insurance to Medicare. These plans are commonly referred to as Medigap plans. So it's Medicare Advantage. This is Medicare Supplement. Now, I want to touch on this again. This is Medicare.gov. This is the official Medicare site. Anything Medicare related, always start with Medicare.gov. This is a very, very valuable resource in your journey for getting knowledge on this Medicare stuff. This is where you need to go right here. Now, there are other sites that you can go to kind of get more details, but always start with Medicare.gov. So a supplement plan, what that is a secondary insurance that's commonly referred to as a Medigap plan. You may hear your doctor saying something about a gap plan, or someone in the medical profession, or you may see a commercial on TV talking about a gap plan. They're basically talking about a Medicare supplement plan. And they're called gap plans because they are designed to do really one thing, and that's fill the Medicare cost gap. Because as I mentioned on the other video, Medicare does not cover for everything. Medicare works basically on an 80-20 rule. They pay 80%, leaving you with the 20%, and that's after you meet your deductibles. So with the supplement plan programs, these programs act as a secondary insurance. They simply go with Medicare. Medicare is your primary insurance. The secondary or the supplement plan is your secondary insurance. It simply goes with Medicare. A supplement plan does not have a network. It is accepted everywhere Medicare is accepted. Does not have a network. So if that doctor is accepting Medicare, he will automatically accept your Medicare supplement plan. Does not have a network. Now, a Medicare supplement plan does not give you any additional coverage. It simply pays the Medicare 20% gap for the most part. We're going to get into that shortly here. But it basically pays the Medicare cost gap of that 20% with the deductibles. It does not give you any additional coverage, such as Part D. As I mentioned in the previous video, Part D is prescription drug coverage. You have to have that. No Medicare supplement plan provides prescription drug coverage. Medicare supplement plans also do not provide dental or vision coverage either. These plans do not provide any additional coverage with Medicare. They simply pay the Medicare out-of-pocket cost gap that's left to you. So that's what these supplement plans do. I've heard people say, well, I talked to a company, they said they can, I can get all of that with them, dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage. It was going to cost me this. Well, what they did was they basically just sold you all that stuff separately and bundled it up into one price for you. No different from AT&T or anybody else is what they did. But that supplement plan itself did not cover all of that. It basically covers what Medicare does not cover as far as the out-of-pocket costs. Now, here's some examples of some supplement plans. This particular website right here, and again, you always want to go to Medicare.gov, but if you don't get the details you're looking for, you can Google some stuff, and I found this website here, Medicare Guide, a little while ago, and it seems to be pretty helpful. But what I want to show you here just are what supplement plans do and how they work. So you have basically two different types of Medicare supplement plans, plans G and N, but there once was a plan called F. And I want to start with Medicare supplement plan F first, because this particular plan is no longer available, but thousands of people still have Medicare supplement plan F. So what I want to touch on is how Medicare supplement plan F works for the people who currently have Medicare plan F, because you may be looking at getting something else because of the cost of that particular plan. Medicare plan F was considered the Cadillac of supplement plans. It was also the most expensive supplement plan out there because it covered for everything. If you take a look at this chart right here, you'll see a lot of different types of Medicare supplement plans ranging from A through N. The thing about Medicare supplement plans is they are area specific. All of these supplement plans are not available everywhere. Plan D and M and L, plans like that are not offered everywhere. It's based on your region, what's available there. So what I want to touch on are the three common plans that are available everywhere. And we're starting with plan F because, like I said, that plan is no longer available, but people have it. And I want you to understand this. Plan F covers for everything. It covers for your Medicare deductibles, Part A and B. It also pays your out-of-pocket 20%. If you get rid of Plan F right now, if you decide to go to Plan G or N, or you decide that you want to try a Medicare Advantage Plan, and 3 weeks later, or a month later, or a couple months later, whenever it is, you decide that you want to go back to Plan F, you cannot get it back because it's gone. So I want to touch on that for one reason, and well, for that particular reason only, for my Plan F people to understand that this plan is no longer available. Is if you leave it, it's not, you cannot get it back. So what is available for supplement plan people? Well, people that are interested in a supplement plan. G and N are offered just about everywhere. G and N are, I haven't seen a county or a state where G and N were not offered. They work very similar to Plan F. Plan F covered everything. The next step down is Plan G. And if you take a look at the chart, if you can see it, Plan G basically covers 100% for everything, with the exception of your Medicare Part B deductible. You still have to pay your Medicare Part B deductible or meet your Medicare Part B deductible, which is $233 for going to your doctors. And yes, you still have to pay your Medicare Part B premium. No supplement plan pays your Medicare Part B premium. You always pay Medicare Part B. You have to have Medicare A and B in order to even be in the supplement plan to begin with. So Plan G pays for everything with the exceptions of your premium and your Medicare Part B deductible. Once you meet your Medicare Part B deductible of $233, Supplement Plan G pays for everything after that. You don't have any more out-of-pocket costs to pay other than your premium once you meet your Medicare Part B deductible with Plan G. Now, Plan N is the next step down from Plan G. It's not as expensive as Medicare Plan G because it doesn't cover for as much as Medicare Plan G. With Medicare Plan N, you still have to meet your Medicare Part B deductible, but you also have out-of-pocket costs in the form of small copays for your doctors as well. That copay is usually $20 to pay to go to your doctors, such as your primary, your specialists, and people of that nature. So Medicare plan, and you also have an out-of-pocket on the emergency room as well. So you have some small out-of-pocket copays that you will pay for Medicare Plan N, but it's not as expensive as Plan G because Plan G covers more. It covers for everything with the exception of your Part B deductible. Medicare N doesn't cover for as much, therefore it's not going to be as expensive. Now, as far as the cost on these plans is concerned, here's one of the great things about a supplement plan. The way they work, let's say, for instance, you want to get Plan G. Plan G is Plan G everywhere. It's the exact same plan, no matter if you go to State Farm or Farm Bureau. It doesn't matter if you live in Connecticut or Ohio and you found an insurance company up there that has Plan G. It's the exact same plan. The difference is going to be cost. So one of the things that I like about supplement plans is they're offered in a lot of different places. I've heard of some banks offering supplement plans at one time. So you can really shop these supplement plans around and find some good rates on them. They're not going to be night and day rates. Typically on Medicare Supplement Plan G, the average cost for Medicare Plan G is a little bit under $100. That's the average cost. I've seen some for $80. I've seen them get up to $110, $120. But you can really shop these plans around, and it's the same. It's going to be the same exact plan no matter where you go. Plan N, same principle. It's Plan N wherever you go. The difference in these plans from carrier to carrier is rates. That's it. It's the same exact program doing the same exact thing. It's just going to cost you something different from carrier to carrier, and it's also based on where you live as well. Another thing about supplement plans, and this is the thing that I don't like about supplement plans, is that they have rate increases every year on your birthday. So you may start off paying $90, $100 for that supplement plan G or N, whatever you're paying for. It's going to go up every year, whether you use it or not. So if you're a healthy person and you're not going to the doctors, you keep that supplement plan long enough, you're going to be wondering why you're paying so much money for that plan at some point. Typically, people who get supplement plans fall into a couple of different categories. People that have some health conditions where they're seeing a lot of doctors because these supplement plans don't have networks. So it's a good fit for people like that. And it's also a good fit for people who have the discretionary income that don't mind paying for insurance because their philosophy is, well, I've been paying for insurance my whole life. I don't mind continuing to pay for it. Maybe a good fit for that person. So again, there's no better or best. It comes down to what's going to work for you and what helps you sleep at night. So absolutely nothing wrong with a supplement plan. Great programs. Just understand what you're getting. Same way with the Medicare Advantage Plan, which is your next option. So again, a lot of people want to lump these programs into the same basket and call them the same thing, but they're not. So just to kind of sum up the Medicare Supplement Plan, that's a secondary insurance that goes with your Medicare. Your Medicare is primary, your supplement plan is secondary. Wherever Medicare is accepted, that supplement plan will be accepted as well. That supplement plan does not have a network, but you are going to pay an additional premium for that Medicare supplement plan. And you're going to have to buy your prescription drug coverage as well, because a Medicare supplement plan does not offer any additional coverage such as prescription drug coverage Part D. And as I mentioned in the previous video, what is Medicare and how it works, I mentioned there that Part D is a requirement by Medicare. You have to have that. So Medicare supplement plans don't provide that coverage. You got to get that separately. So if you're on a budget, supplement plan might not be a good fit for you because you're going to have some additional costs. If budget is not a concern and you want to keep your back end costs low and you don't like co-pays and you're seeing a lot of doctors, supplement plan might be right up your alley. But if a supplement plan is not a good fit for you, but you want the coverage and you want as much as you can get, well, let's take a look at the Medicare Advantage plans. So what a Medicare Advantage plan is, you guys, let's start with that first. Basically, what a Medicare Advantage plan is, that's also a private insurance company that's contracted and regulated by Medicare. These plans are commonly referred to as Part C. And I know when you see in these commercials, you see people saying, oh, you got to have Part C. Oh, Part C, Part C. Well, they're talking about the Medicare Advantage Plan system itself. That's Part C. And what a Medicare Advantage Plan is, it's a private insurance company that's contracted and regulated by Medicare. You got a lot of these companies out there, area specific again. Different states have different carriers, different counties have different carriers. So I'm going to get into it on the next video and show you how to find something in your area. But today, let's just kind of focus, just want to focus on what these plans are. So these are private insurance carriers that are contracted and regulated by Medicare. The whole purpose of these Medicare Advantage programs is to provide Medicare beneficiaries, that will be you or your loved one, all of your Medicare A and B benefits at a lower cost. So keep in mind, Medicare A and B by itself, you have deductibles and you also have a 20% co-insurance as well. So with the Medicare Advantage plans, you don't have that. What they do is they give you all of your Medicare A and B benefits. They do not have the deductibles and they do not have the 20% that you have to pay. What these plans have are flat rate copays. These Medicare Advantage programs work very similar to insurance that you may have had on your job, which means one of the rules with the Medicare Advantage plan is you have to stay within the network. You can only see the doctors and hospitals that take the coverage for that particular plan. So if you're looking at a Medicare Advantage plan with Humana, and you decide to get that particular program, then Humana is your Medicare. These Medicare Advantage plans, they take the place of your Medicare. You still have Medicare, you're still a member of Medicare, and yes, you're still going to pay that Medicare Part B premium of $165 or whatever it is now when you're watching this video, because it fluctuates. So yes, you still pay your Medicare Part B premium because you have to have Medicare A and B in order to even get in these programs to begin with. So yes, you're going to continue to pay your Medicare Part B premium. You're still a member of Medicare. But when you join a Medicare Advantage plan, that Medicare Advantage plan, does not matter which one it is you join, it becomes your Medicare. And you stay within the network for that particular plan, and you show the card for that particular plan. be it Humana, be it Cigna, be it Blue Cross, be it United, whichever Medicare Advantage plan it is you join, they all work exactly the same way. They all are going to do exactly the same things. They work the same way, they do the same things. So when you join that particular plan, you stay within the network for that particular plan, and you show the card for that particular plan to that particular plan's doctors and hospitals. In exchange for that, you don't pay a monthly premium to have these particular programs. You can get a Medicare Advantage plan that's all inclusive, that has your dental, that has your vision, that has your prescription drug coverage, and also includes your Medicare hospital and doctors coverage. All of that coverage is included in that one plan for a zero premium. That's right. You can get a Medicare Advantage plan for a zero premium. The reason being is because Medicare, as I said, they contract with these particular private insurance companies. So Medicare is paying these particular companies to provide you all of their benefits at a lower rate and give you the additional benefits that they don't provide. They're in a sense acting as a subcontractor on behalf of Medicare. So let's say, for instance, you were getting a house built and you have a general contractor, or you're going through a major builder, a contracting company, a builder. Well, you sit down in that guy's office, you work out all the details, you're looking at the blueprints, and you put your money down and you pay that guy. But that guy is not going to be the one doing all the work for you on your house. He's got people, a foreman, that he's paying to take his crew out there and do everything for you. He's paying these guys to do all the work on his behalf and your behalf. So when you go out to the construction site to see how everything's coming along with your house, your new build, you're going to be dealing with that foreman most of the time. You're probably going to be dealing with the builder and the guys that you actually paid. Probably if you have a problem or just kind of touch bases with them on some things, but for the most part, you're dealing with that foreman out there. These Medicare Advantage plans and Medicare works the exact same way. So these Medicare Advantage plans, they become your Medicare. They do everything for you on behalf of Medicare, which is why you have to stay within the network with these particular plans. And then you pay the co-pays that these particular plans have set for you. Again, these Medicare Advantage programs have flat rate co-pays. And they also have what's called a maximum out-of-pocket cost, which is a cap on those co-pays, which is a great benefit for you to have on these particular plans. Because with the red, white, and blue card Medicare by itself, you do not have a cap. You have deductibles and you have a open-ended 20%. That could be whatever your health dictates. If you're having a tough year and you in and out of hospitals and surgeries and MRIs, CT scans, it's going to reflect in that 20% on the Medicare side of it. But when you have a Medicare Advantage plan, you have flat rate co-pays, meaning no matter what you get, what service you get, it tells you in your book, in your summary benefits, well, if you get this, it costs this. And that's what you pay. That's your co-pay. The max out-of-pocket cost is simply a cap on those co-pays. It's basically a ceiling on your co-pays. Now, that max out-of-pocket varies from plan to plan and county to county and state to state. It used to be a time, once upon a time, where everybody's max out-of-pocket was $6,700. That's changed now. It went down from $6,700 to $5,900, and now it's different from plan to plan. So let's just say, for instance, your plan, the max out-of-pocket cost is $5,000. That just simply means that your co-pays are guaranteed not to go over that $5,000 within a year. Excuse me. That's not a deductible. You may never spend that in co-pays. You may never spend that because your co-pays are set pretty low. But if you're having a difficult year, health-wise, so you're in and out of doctors and hospitals, excuse me, your co-pays are going to add up at some point. You have this ceiling here on your co-pays. If your co-pays start to creep up, they stop at some point. If your copays happen to hit, again, in this example, your maximum out of pocket is $5,000. If your copays happen to hit that $5,000, the plan comes back into the picture. Well, not comes back into the picture, but the plan steps in even further and pays for the rest of your medical care for the remainder of the year, if you happen to hit whatever your max out-of-pocket cost is. But again, I want you to understand, that's not a deductible. You don't have to spend that. Your co-pays is what you spend. So if you're in a situation where your health is really well, and you're only going to see a doctor for checkups, let's say, for instance, you have a specialist doctor that you see once a quarter, every 3 months. You see this doctor 4 times a year, and your copay is $30 to see that doctor. Well, that's all you spent for the year, $120 on your health care, because you only saw your doctor 4 times. But if your health deteriorates and you start seeing doctors and specialists and MRIs, CT scans, hospitalizations, outpatient surgery, yeah, those copays add up. But that is the whole beauty of having a max out-of-pocket cost, which is a cap on your copays. It regulates how far your spending goes, and it keeps your costs low. So you guys, that's the difference between, those are the differences, shall I say, between a supplement plan and a Medicare Advantage plan. I didn't quite cover everything that I need to cover on the Medicare Advantage side of it. So what I'm gonna do is make another video. And this video, the next video I put out, is gonna be specifically about Medicare Advantage plans. I'm gonna show you a plan. I'm gonna show you some copays and show you how they work, show you what to look for. I'm gonna show you how to find doctors in the network. There's a lot you need to know about these Medicare Advantage plans. There are certain time frames when you can sign up and when you're locked in. There's different types of Medicare Advantage programs out there. Some you have to qualify for. Those are called dual special needs plans or chronic special needs plans. They have all types of programs out there. So we're going to be touching on that on the next video. But as usual, if you have a question that I did not cover, feel free, put it in the comment box. I will respond to you. Possibly even make a video on it just for you. So again, name of the company is Porter Insurance Professionals. I hope you learned something from these videos. That's my whole point of doing this, is to share information. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. PorterInsuranceProfessionals.com. Reach out to me there. It has all my information on the website. You're watching me now on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, share it, tell people about it. You're not the only, if you're tuning in because you have questions, other people have questions too. Share this. This is good information. And if I'm missing information, ask me and we'll talk about it. So again, thank you for tuning in, you guys, and I'll see you next time.